Welcome back, friends. You're watching Fulltoss, the voice of cricket in America. My name is RJ Amit. Joining me from New Jersey, Amarnath and Priyanka. We had a very exciting first half. We broke down some of the things from the recently concluded third test. And yes, Priyanka's excited. I know I can, and I don't want to hold your excitement for way too long there. Okay, you know what? Before I move on to this day in cricket, full disclosure: for the last 3 days, it has been we've all had sleepless nights. I was up till very early in the morning today to see India win, and it has been a wonderful. I don't regret even a second that I lost some sleep. Let me hear from both of you, then we'll move on to our this day in cricket segment.
It has been phenomenal. Yes, giving up sleep on a Sunday morning, it's okay. That's what Sundays are there to catch up on the sleep. That's okay. I can live with that. So it has been really remarkable. It never gets tired to see India beating England. Let me be open about that.
Priyanka,
Yeah,
you had your hands raised. You were excited. Let's hear from you before I move to the next segment.
it was wonderful. I followed the match and I did follow some domestic cricket as well because my brother played after a long time for Himachal.
Yeah.
Um, so he performed well. He got 5 wickets, like how my mom said, Panja lena hai, Panja. So they won by innings. So that was great. So I've had one of the best long weekends this time.
So, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing Mayank also very soon. In about a month's time, we'll see him again.
Hopefully, hopefully, yes.
Unfortunately, Amarnath and Priyanka, we don't get to see. I'm a huge fan of Ranji matches. Amarnath will tell you. We have always
Yeah.
Yes,
covered Ranji matches, but we don't get to see them here. So that's my only
yes.
complaint. That we wish we could get to see some of the live matches. But hold on to your horses right now, because right now the segment that is coming up, this segment is called "This Day in Cricket" segment.
Okay.
Amarnath, are you
Yay.
ready? Priyanka, are you ready?
Always,
Yes,
always.
All right.
absolutely.
It gets me fired up.
February 18th,
Okay.
1986.
1986.
This
Okay.
one
England
player,
was,
yeah,
touring West Indies.
this one player received an unwanted nose job.
Okay. Poor Mike Gatting.
It is Mike
He
Getting.
he got his nose smashed by Malcolm Marshall. The problem was Gatting did not have a proper helmet.
He didn't have
He
a
didn't have
visor.
the
He didn't have the visor on.
visor or face mask. You need some
Yeah.
frontal protection. He just had for his head, and the ball broke his nose. And Marshall later on said some fragments of the nose bone was there on the ball.
Yeah, Priyanka, he actually found some fragments on the ball
Oh
of his
my
nose. Yeah.
God. I didn't know
So
about it.
that it was one of the
Interesting.
most horrifying sights. The ball trickled and hit the wickets also. He was bold.
Yeah, he
It
was
is
bold.
considered bold.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, the
So,
ball
God.
actually rolled up to the stumps.
I don't know, Mike Gatting. That is a very infamous incident.
Oh yeah.
February 18th, 1886. It's a birthday.
Oh my God, little ahead of my time.
February 18th, 1886, and an oddball was born today. An eccentric test cricketer. His career ended when he criticized the English captain. This
Well,
is an odd. This is a true oddball, by the way. Okay.
okay,
Um,
I can't recall, but
he
I'm
actually
surprised. Somebody who criticized the captain in those days.
he publicly criticized the captain in the Lancashire committee, and he only played once for Yorkshire before it was discovered that he has been born 20 yards outside of the country boundary. Not only
County
that,
boundaries.
con- our county boundary, not country,
Yes,
county
yes.
boundary. So you couldn't play for that. I'm referring to Chris Parkins.
Okay,
Chris
okay, Parkin.
Parkins. And the reason why he made my list because he criticized English captain back in those days.
Good to know that. Good to know.
February 18, 1966.
February 18,
Sixty
1966.
An
six.
English all-rounder was born today.
Oh, all rounder was born in 1966. So okay, he had played in the 90s. I'm almost certain I'll know.
1991, 1994,
Hmm.
and he was one of those bowler who seemed to beat the bat too often.
Okay, see, in 91 to 94, I remember there are three fast bowlers, all three from the Caribbean playing
Uh-huh.
for England.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you had Malcolm Devon, Chris
Yes.
Lewis, and Phil DeFreitas, but only Phil DeFreitas is an all-rounder.
That is the correct
Too good.
answer. Too good.
Too good.
Okay, people, moment he said all-rounder, I knew that I could drop the other two.
Absolutely.
That the three fast bowlers
was he
were
was he
there.
really was he really an all I mean if you yeah, he was an
No,
all-rounder.
he was a useful bat. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you, in county cricket, he was definitely an all rounder because he scored 10,000 runs in county cricket
Wow.
and took 1,000 wickets.
My goodness.
1,000 wickets. By the way, only about 9 or 10 cricketers have done it after World War II, scoring
Wow.
10,000 runs and taking 1,000
That's
wickets.
outstanding.
Okay. I look for that statistic. There are not too many people.
Unbelievable. February 18, 1997.
1997.
A
Okay.
personal triumph for an English captain, a rare overseas win for England.
Okay. It has to be Atherton.
It is Mike Atherton. What happened? What happened on this day? What happened, Amarnath?
No, in 97, they were touring New Zealand. And he scored they won the series in New Zealand.
Yes.
Uh,
Christchurch,
I
right? That
remember,
was the really.
I don't
Yeah, I
exactly
believe that's
remember the
Christchurch.
Christchurch or Auckland. He scored about a very high score, not out in the first innings and a century in the second innings. Okay, and he was the captain's knock, and he rescued the team actually,
Yeah.
and they won that match and won that series.
Amazing.
A
I was
birthday.
only 3 years old
See, there
that
you have
time.
it.
Mm, mm.
A birthday coming up. A birthday, Amarnath. And it
Okay,
gives me an absolute pleasure because we have had him as part of our full toss spotlight a long time ago when
okay,
this segment used to be called a tribute segment.
okay,
You did a tribute segment for this particular player. Born February 18th, 1927.
okay. 1927. Okay,
Birth of a Pakistan's first world class quick bowler.
okay. I know that.
In many ways, Chaminda was
Oh
of his
yes.
day.
Complete, and then I'll tell you.
Except that he did
Uh,
not have Murli to support him on the other end. I mean, those of us who remember watching,
this
I
is
mean,
Pakistan's first greatest fast bowler was Fazal
Shoaib
Mahmud.
Akhtar.
yes, no, Fazal Mahmud, Fazal Muhammad.
Mm.
Yes,
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 Fazal Mahmud, 1927 born.
yeah,
Nice.
I can tell you so many stories about Fazal Mahmud. He was chosen to for the India team going to Australia in 47, 48, and he actually came to Pune
mm.
to for the coaching camp for the training sessions. Unfortunately, at that time, August 15th, partition took place,
Oh,
and his family decided to stay in Lahore. So he was very keen to play for India, to go to Australia. And so he went back, and that time riots were going on, and somebody had to accompany that young Fazal Mahmud safely. Who else but Colonel C.K. Naidu
really?
accompanied him. And C.K. Naidu was a huge man, Colonel C.K. Naidu.
Uh huh.
And when there were mobs going, he literally used the cricket bat and pushed people away and brought Fazal Mahmud himself has said, I owe my life to Colonel C.K. Naidu. Mm. So
Wow.
it is
What?
so unfortunate that he didn't get to play for India, but he was one of the greatest cricketers from the subcontinent, not just from Pakistan. He was an amazing cricketer. He won the first win for Pakistan in
Oval,
England
oval, right? That
in
was
the
oval.
Oval in 1954. Okay. My dad saw him bowl for Pakistan in the Madras Test in 60 61.
My goodness, my goodness.
Amazing.
And
Wow.
Priyanka, by the way, congratulations, Amarnath, for the stat. 1954, he took 6 for 53 and 6 for 46.
Okay.
That helped Pakistan defeat
Too
England.
good. Wow.
He was also known as the mat terror. He on the matting wickets,
Yeah.
he was unplayable. Mm.
Interesting.
Okay. Another one. It's an event. February 18, 1969.
1969, February 18th. Okay. Event. That means the match is going on. I'll know that.
A very unique call was taken to declare an innings by this captain.
By this captain.
By this
Okay.
captain, right?
Uh,
And the
okay.
two teams are England and West Indies.
England and West Indies.
England won by 7 wickets in Trinidad.
Oh,
19.
that is not 69. Gary Sobers is the captain who goofed it up.
Yes,
Gary
Gary
Sobers
Sobers.
goofed it up. He declared and gave a very easy chance to Cowdrey's team
Yes,
and they won the match. 69. It was Gary Sobers in the Sydney Test against Bill Lawry's team, and he made a very bad decision, and they lost by some 500 runs. Mhm.
Wow,
yes,
500.
500
Yeah,
runs. Yeah, that was
500 runs,
500
562
runs.
or something.
My goodness.
Am I
February
right?
18th. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
It
You're
was
right.
a Sydney Test.
It was actually what I'm reading. Yes, Australia. It
Ah.
was a Sydney test. Um, yeah, you're right, Amarnath. Great job. Great
Mhm.
job. It's an event again. February 18, 1996.
You, which year? 1896.
1996.
Oh,
This
1996. Okay.
country's introduction to international cricket.
Okay. The 1996 was the World Cup in India. Okay.
They lost, but
And
managed to bat out all 50 overs. By the way, this team and this country.
1996, the new entrance was Kenya.
It is Kenya.
Yeah.
It is Kenya.
Wow.
It is Kenya.
I don't see
They
that
played.
team anywhere though now. I
They
don't even
played
know.
India. They played
Okay.
India in 1996. Their first match was with India. They scored some
Hmm.
199, and India, Sachin and Jadeja scored the runs in no time.
Another interesting stat that team was also coached by one of India's finest, Mr. Sandeep Patil. He was also their coach for
Yes,
some time.
he, was
And
a,
if
he,
you remember,
he
he
brought it to
actually
a very good level
semi-finals, right? Remember that World Cup,
in 2003.
2003.
See, for about 7 years, they did very well, and then they dropped off.
Hmm. Sandeep Patil played a very important role in the development of the cricket. By the way, just want to give a shout out to Sandeep Patil here too.
Mm.
All right, a birthday coming up, Amarnath. Ready?
Always.
An English player this time again. Born
Uh,
February 18th, 1938.
1938. Then I'll definitely know him because he would have played in the 60s.
He did.
So, mhm.
He passed twice in test and converted. He passed 50 twice in test and converted them both into centuries. 125 against New Zealand in Auckland, and in 1962-63, 127 against India in Kanpur, Amarnath.
Who else but Barry Knight?
It is Barry Knight. It is Barry Knight.
Who else but Barry
Tell
Knight?
us, tell us something about Barry, Amarnath.
Okay, Barry Knight. He played in the 60s. He was a useful all rounder. Let me put it that way. Not a great all rounder, a useful all rounder. He's also one of those very unique individuals who has scored 10,000 runs and taken 1,000 wickets in first class cricket.
My goodness.
Incidentally, around that time, there are, I would call them all these half test all rounders, and they are not full test all rounders. They could be good bowling all rounders. That's the right term, bowling all rounder. You had Barry Knight, you had Titmus and Mortimer. Incidentally, all three came to India. Either in Dexter's team or Mike Smith's team, both of them visited India in the two tours. I was very young at that time, following in the eating up every scorecard and every column on
You're too much, my
Hindu
man.
or
You're too much.
Express.
You're absolutely too much.
I
And
just don't know
Priyanka,
how.
it never gets old. 22 years
Yeah.
and more, it never gets old. Every weekend, I get stumped, and I'm like glued to this
Yes.
guy's when he talks. It's just unbelievable.
No, these are all the stories in my head. I'm
Amazing.
sorry, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to share these stories. Okay. Mm.
All
I'm
right.
I'm glad he's a part of the show, you know. It's hard to find
This show
such
is there
people
only
who
because of him. This show wouldn't have
exactly.
gone on anywhere.
What I'm surprised is both Phil DeFreitas and Barry Knight, who belong to a very unique club, were born on the same day.
Born on the same day, yes. Well, I'm reading
Born
it.
on
I'm
the
saying
same.
yes because I'm reading that. So,
Mm.
all right. Let me move on to our last one. It's well, yeah, it's a semi-event if you want to call it, but February 18th, 1977. Test
1977.
debuts for the fearsome West Indian pace duo against Pakistan. They shared
Yes.
13 wickets amongst them.
Oh, Garner and Croft.
It
Who
is
else?
Garner and Croft.
It is
Wow.
the Barbados Test. It was,
Yes.
and Pakistan had a very great team. They had Wasim Raja, Imran Khan, Sarfraz Nawaz. That Barbados Test, Pakistan should have won. That they allowed the ninth wicket to hang on for a long time. It was a great series, by the way. 76, 77, and I followed it over the radio. In those days, there was no international broadcast TV broadcasts.
You know what, Amarnath? I just let me just sneak in one more. Yeah,
Okay.
this is a very interesting one, Priyanka and Amarnath, both of you. Okay,
Mm.
it's a birthday now, by the way. Born
Okay.
Mhm.
February 18, 1960.
1960.
And it's funny the way they have written it. They're writing it birth of the most toothless bowler in Test history, and
Toothless bowler.
and the honors goes to a Sri Lankan player.
Okay.
Uh,
1960, he would have played in the
And what they're
80s.
what they're saying, if he bowled at both ends throughout the 5-day test, the opposition would be only 4 down at the end of the match, and they would have scored over 1,300 runs.
Okay. Means he conceded a lot of runs, hardly took any wickets,
He played four
essentially.
tests between 1982 and 1986,
Okay.
and his strike rate was 586 balls per wicket, every one wicket.
So this
Wow.
is the black Oscars from the from the bottom.
Roger Vijaysurya is the player's
Roger
name.
Vijay Surya. Okay,
Vijaysurya.
it's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Why only give a shout out to those who did perform very well?
Yeah.
Never in the history of this day in cricket I have ever covered something like this.
No, it's interesting
I'll
to
be
know.
honest. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, usually we are talking about yeah, it was a humor
Successful.
added in this one, but Amarnath, that was a brilliant this day in cricket as always.
No, no, very interesting characters pepper this game, and it keeps me awake all the time. We're reading about all these players. Oh, uh, just reading about Sarfraz Nawaz and Yashasvi Jaiswal is enough to keep me young forever.
Absolutely, absolutely. Friends, you are watching Full Toss, the voice of cricket in America with Priyanka, Amarnath, and myself, Amit, RJ Amit. We'll take a short drinks break. When we come back on the other side, we still have our Full Toss Spotlight coming up. You don't want to miss that segment because that's where Amarnath is going to be paying tribute to one of India's finest, Ravi Chandran Ashwin. Don't go too far, friends, because Full Toss Crew will be right back after a short drinks break.